Indeed, Greg. Yeah, and just going over your career for this little while, and it's just been so much fun. Have there been any sports that you have wanted to do play-by-play for, but haven't had the chance yet?
Well, I didn't do play-by-play for football. I did some for college basketball. I guess probably, I would like to have done that maybe. I think I'd have been a good football guy. Um, it's a different challenge. Like I said, I did some basketball. I was offered a Columbus Blue Jackets job uh, when one of their first years. Someone had gotten sick, one of their announcers, and was out for a while. And I just happened to know the team controller who had started the Columbus. He's a buddy of mine to this day. And he called me from Columbus almost in desperation. The season had already started, but he needed someone to fill in for what could be weeks and asked me if I would do it. And I don't know if I regret turning it down, but our son had just been born, and it was the winter time, and I was a chance to spend time with him, and we were already using kind of a nanny to do a lot of stuff, and my mother-in-law, and I thought, geez, oh man, it, it I would not want to, I wouldn't want to do it half baked. I would want to be all in and to do the good job, and so I felt like I wouldn't want to be driving back and forth. I would like invest. I would have almost moved to Columbus for the winter and embed myself with the team. I talked to Mike about it, Lang. I said, geez, I've done all the other sports. I did a couple college hockey games, um, color work, but I said, he goes, you can do it. Yeah, anybody can do it. You can do it. Just kind of like, he nonchalant about it. But yeah, I did not do that. And I don't know how good I'd have been at hockey. That's a tough sport to call. That's a grind. And so that's probably it. I no real regrets. If I had my, if somebody said to you, well, heck, ask the 10-year-old Greg Brown, 12-year-old Greg Brown, what's your lifetime dream? It would be to be a play-by-play announcer for a Major League Baseball team. And could it be the Pirates, please? So
Oh, yeah, that's all amazing, Greg. And
yeah.
for me, I've always thought about this would be fun. Obviously, since you share a broadcasting network with the Penguins, have there been any talks of that? Well, I mean, I think it would be tough to do it because it would have to be during April Fools, which is, of course, right when your season starts, or right when the Penguins start. Has there been any talks about maybe like switching up where you go do a Penguins game, now like Josh Getzoff does a Pirates game? I don't know. It's just that's something I have always personally in my fandom have wanted to see.
No, no one suggested that yet. Well, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I don't know Josh terribly well, but I imagine he'd get a kick out of that. And like you said, tough to do with crossover. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Nobody's suggested that, but might be get a kick out of it. I will say that over the years we've had, I remember we had Bill Hillgrove come in once to do an inning of play-by-play. I knew Bill, and he was at the game one night. He was still doing, I think, Channel 4 anchoring along with Steelers, uh, and certainly doing Pitt uh, football and basketball. And I saw him in the press box. I said, "You want to come? Yeah, I'll visit the booth." I don't think he expected it, but he and I and Steve Lasser talking during the game, headset on. I said, "Let's Bill Hillgrove take it the next couple innings." And I think he got a kick out of that. Mike Lang did crossover. Mike came over. Mike did a couple of years of cable, and then we brought him in as a guest. Doc Emrick,
Yeah,
a friend of
I
mine.
love
Doc has
watching
done
those.
some spring training games, and Doc loves doing. He's so amazing. It's so fun to watch him in the locker room clubhouse before a game and going up. And of course, now he's got the you know gravitas. He's got the players like gravitating to him, wanting to talk to him. Whereas if I walk in there, it's like oil and water. When Doc walks into the clubhouse, they all want to. They're anxious to talk to him, and so he gets nuggets, and he's such a great friend and mentor as well.
Yeah, how has that relationship been like with Greg Doc, knowing that I know that he has that love for the Pirates, and it's been something that maybe people might not know. But how does that feel? With you, and I know he lives in Michigan. It seems like he always visits you when you guys go to Detroit. So how's that relationship been like with him?
Well, he is such a Pirate fan over the. He hasn't done the last couple of years, but he's hoping to do it this coming March, where he rents a place in Bradenton, and he actually got season tickets to these games. He buys two season tickets to spring training games, like 15 games, and he sits there over by the dugout, and it's an absolute treat. It's a treat to get to know him. It's wonderful to exchange texts or phone calls during the season. He's such a fan. He might want to know something, or he'll say he's so kind to me. He's just over the top about what he says about me. He's unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, I feel incredibly fortunate, incredibly blessed to have gotten the chance to know him, and it's because of his Pirate fandom that I've gotten to know Doc. We've got when he was doing games for NBC, he'd see how he want to leave me tickets, and I'd bring a friend or something. And we'd go into the Captain Morgan Club where he and Etzo, another great guy, Eddie Olczyk, and between periods he'd come over. Like, I don't know how he does it, but between periods you go to commercial break and he's got 5 minutes. He comes over and he's standing there talking to us like for 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, I can't do that. I can't get in that mode. Like, I don't know how in the world you're able to separate. It's no big deal. He gets right back at it. Second period starts. He's still great. Like, he hasn't missed a beat. You'd never know it. But yeah, he's just an unbelievable human being. He's so nice. Walking around in Bradenton, if we're walking around the ball, we did an open once for a telecast. We wanted to do out in the right field, up on the boardwalk at Lecom Park in Bradenton. And so we're walking from the press box down past the concession stands out to the boardwalk, and everyone's stopping. He's got time for everyone with a smile. Just they say nice guys finish last is a bunch of malarkey, because he's one of the nicest humans that is, the pinnacle of the broadcasting industry.
Yeah, definitely. Tom McMillan brought Doc in when I was at Point Park in 2019, and
Man,
that's definitely a day that I will never forget.
yeah.
And finally, one more question for you, Greg. So I'm a big Sinatra fan, and one of my favorite songs is My Way, and I just always love the quote saying, "To think I did all that, may I say not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way." Have you ever looked back on your career, Greg, and just have that moment of saying, wow, to think I did all that in my life?
Yeah, and that's wild that you're a Sinatra fan. That's great, man. That's cool. Uh, I mean, I don't think about it as I did it my way. But I mean, because I think, uh, not to get too deep into this, Colton, but and I'm no saint by any stretch of the imagination. Please understand that, and I'm not preaching, but um, had it not been for my faith and prayer, there's just no way I'm here. It is impossible to think that a kid from this, you know, podunk town, Boondocks, Mechanicsburg, PA, um, that grows up loving the Pittsburgh Pirates, loving broadcasting. How in the world I got to this? The only way is because I prayed beyond what anybody could imagine. It was constant, and so I think it was my faith that got me here. And so when I think about this, I think about that. Um, and it's not, I remind myself, I never get caught up like people say, boy, man, you don't have much of an ego. No, because ego is bad. This is not me. I was, it's a gift. And I work at it. I work at what I believe I'm supposed to be doing. And I think it's a crime, sinful not to do what you're put on this earth to do, and to do it at your best. So, uh, yeah, I feel blessed. I'm fortunate, and I will say this, that the only thing about my way is that my journey, I think I got here because of that and hard work and passion. So those things are awfully important, and staying on the straight and narrow. Um, yeah.
Yeah, Greg, going back to what you said about nice guys finishing last as a bunch of malarkey, that definitely is true. And, you have been that way with me. And I'm so honored that we were able to have you on. I'm so honored to have the chance to get to know you over these past few years. Thank you so much for coming on, Greg. This was an absolute blast.
Colton, you do it right, man. You do it right. I told you that before. I know you do this podcast, and you do it with grace. You do it with such ease, and you do these interviews with great curiosity, natural curiosity, and that's led you to have the success you've had. So, congrats.